Eagles, Vikings. Who are you going to play today on SB Fantasy Football?
None of them.
I'll play someone. And welcome to the SB Fantasy Football Podcast, where we try hard.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're here talking Eagles, Vikings, Thursday night game. A little preview into the action. Who should you play? Who shouldn't you play? A little look at the injury report we got going on here.
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling about this game?
I kind of don't care. I don't know what it is about it, but I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. Primetime Cousins.
Okay.
Because he
That is a factor,
he always
right?
shows up in prime time. People giggle, they snicker, they laugh.
Yeah, he shows up and then shits the bed.
Oh, Jesus. Wait, he does. What does he win? I thought he wins this.
He doesn't win prime time.
Oh, God, I had it backwards.
Oh, man. That's
Just to give you a heads up,
we try hard.
the over-under on this game is 49, and the spread is about 7 points in favor of the Vikings.
I've got 6 right now is what I'm showing on ESPN.
So you can see kind of like it's going to be a decently high-scoring game, they think, about, under 50, but 49 is not bad. So you're going to have some action.
Yeah.
So take it away from there.
Let's take a look at the injury report real quick. For the Eagles, they got 3 players ruled out right now. Reed Blankenship, safety, cornerback James Bradbury, and running back Kenneth Gainwell. He got hurt last week, the rib injury, didn't practice all week. He's been ruled out.
He actually had a decent week, too. He scored 11.4 fantasy points in PPR leagues.
Right. He had you a decent amount of receptions is where most of that came from.
Of course.
And then for the Vikings, the only player ruled out right now is Garrett Bradbury with his back.
Okay.
So he didn't practice this week. Other than that, you got some players that are questionable. They've been limited in practice, like Fletcher Cox for the Eagles, been limited the last 2 days. And then for the Vikings, Christian Darenshaw and Marcus Davenport been limited all week. Odds are those people are going to play. Once you start getting some practices in, you're going to play. The big thing you got to talk about, though, is the Kenneth Gainwell injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last week you had Rashad Penny was a healthy scratch, didn't play, but you didn't get anything out of anybody other than Kenneth Gainwell.
Right.
DeAndre Swift got you nothing.
Yeah.
He had 1 catch.
Mm-hmm.
He had 1 rush for no yards. Some people are saying, hey, play DeAndre Swift this week. He's the play. I'm in the camp of no, don't play him.
I can't do it. I don't even care if Boston Scott went down to this point, I still wouldn't play him.
Scott's still going to play.
Yeah.
Odds are if Kenneth Gainwell's out, you're going to get Rashad Penny in there. And he came out last week, after he was a scratch, said, look, I'm the healthiest I've been in my career. I'm lighter than I've been. I feel great. I've never been this healthy in my career. And then he gets benched.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where I would be leaning if I'm leaning towards anybody this week.
I don't even know that I'm touching anybody in that backfield there.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm touching anybody in either backfield. So let's just go with that because Anthony Matheson didn't do anything last week. He got you 11 rushes for 34 yards.
Yeah, it was just all right. Real quick, back to the Eagles. The Eagles jumped out on top of who they played, New England.
New
right?
England.
like
then let 'em back in,
and then just let them right back in. They lost. They got popped from the defense and then just fizzled on offense. They looked good for the first quarter, and then after that, it was like nothing. I mean, Devonta Smith scored more points than Jalen Hurts. We talked about that before we even started. He had 17.70 points versus Jalen Hurts is 16.20.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts had 37 yards rushing, 170 yards passing, and 1 touchdown. It's not getting much for you, right?
Lost a fumble on you, too.
Devontae Smith had 7 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 7 catches for 79 yards. Dallas Goedert had a big goose egg. Nothing.
Dude.
He's
on the imperfect lineup, too. Like, it is unbelievable how many people put up goose eggs this week. And, his name was on that list. I'm like, oh, my God, are you kidding me? Let me ask you a question. So, out of the 2 Philadelphia receivers, which one would you lean towards playing this week, Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown, if you had to make a choice?
I mean, if I have them both on my team, I'm playing them both.
You're going to go both?
I would feel safe playing them both because they're both really good. They both put up number 1 wide receiver numbers.
They can, for sure, yes.
Devonta Smith typically puts up a little bit more on the touchdown
That big play, the big
right?
play. Yeah.
Gets those big plays for you and things like that. But I mean, honestly, if I have to play one, it's a coin flip. I don't see an advantage either way. They were both really close in points last year. Obviously, this week Devonta Smith takes the lead for week 1 because he had the touchdown.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
They both had 7 catches. AJ Brown had 79 yards versus the 47 yards.
Right.
But I would feel comfortable. This is a stack that I would feel comfortable with in the wide receiver position because odds are if you got both of them, those are probably your 2 best wide receivers.
Most likely.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no way you got like because if it was one of them, it would be Devonta Smith would be the next receiver that you would take. You would take AJ Brown first. Odds are you got someone better than Devonta Smith between drafting AJ Brown and then drafting Devonta Smith.
The funny thing you said is stacking. This is definitely a stack that you could do in DFS, right?
Oh
like,
yeah, 100%.
especially in like the captain mode. I mean, you'll pick them both, but if you want to put, if you're on the full slate and you're thinking about stacking these 2 dudes, I mean, this week should be a lot better. You know what I mean? Listen, Minnesota ain't New England, right? They're not stopping Hurts all that much, at least as much as put on him from New England.
At the end of the day, you're probably going to be looking at, when the season's all said and done, New England is a possible top 10 defense in the league. They're always great. Belichick always has a defense clicking 5 on all cylinders. 100% a great defense, whereas the Vikings defense, not so much.
So funny enough, we're not taking anybody out of the backfield, and we are absolutely starting 2 of their top 2 receivers. Obviously, you messing with Hurts at all? You think Hurts is going to bounce back?
I mean, if I got Hurts, I'm going to play Hurts. Like,
I'd hate to know who your backup was. If you had Hurts, you had to spend
that's your starter, right?
Yeah.
And that's the guy you draft him as your first quarterback. You still got to go with him.
Yeah.
It's 1 week. Again, we talk about this a lot. I talked about it when I did my waiver wire picks. Don't panic. I wanted to do
an overreaction show. Like everybody, freak out and sell. Right. Sell Jamar Chase. Sell Joe Burrow.
I went ahead and cut Burrow. I cut Chase. I cut Hurts. I cut all these players that are supposed to be good.
I don't want these losers
who
on my
are
team.
All just awful week 1. And I'm rolling with knowing I want Jordan Love and. Tuca, or whatever that guy's name is for the Rams. Give me all those guys, right?
So there you go. For that's the
and I would go ahead and play Dallas Goedert.
You would play him again?
I'm not. It's 1 week.
Gonna give him another chance?
He's gonna.
You're 0-1, and then he just put up a goose egg, and he was the reason you lost. Okay,
he's gonna be fine.
All right.
We've talked in past seasons. I had a season where I started out 0-4, and every week you're like, "You okay? You okay? You okay?" I'm like, "I'm all right."
Not freaking out yet. Yeah,
we're not freaking out. We're not freaking out.
Gotcha.
Takes us over to the Vikings.
Let's go to the Vikings.
I'm not touching Matheson.
You can't even do it, Madison, huh?
Yeah,
can't do it.
I wasn't up on him last week.
Yeah,
I wasn't in on him this season.
13.4
I think the Vikings
points
made a
bad.
Mistake though. Like I really think the Vikings made a mistake.
Oh, of course they did.
But he got you 34 yards rushing.
Yeah,
it was all with a bunch of dunk and dink catches. Which okay, PPR yes, but I kind of think I got someone better on my team than Madison.
You think so?
I would hope so.
Like
you just drafted bad.
You said 34 yards rushing. You also caught 3 passes for 10 yards, and one of them was a T. Got in the end zone, so he scored. But 13.4 is nothing crazy, or I think that's something serviceable, right? He almost might be in the flex position though. That's where if you're going to play him, that's where I would play him. Obviously, top dog on the team is Justin Jefferson. He scored 26 points this week. He usually scores a lot more. I think he scored most of these points in the first half.
9 for 150.
Yeah.
So had a great start to this to his season, and then the kid Addison as well, 4 for 61 with the touchdown. Just the receiving, you get what you're going to get, right?
Right.
Kirk Cousins had 344 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception at his prime time. Hawkinson had 8 catches for 35 yards.
That's a lot of receptions for less than.
But again, a PPR, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get that action on that stuff. So
if you have a choice between Hawkinson and Goddard, who are you picking?
I'm playing Hawkinson.
You're Hawkinson.
I'm a Hawkinson guy.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Neither of these defenses I think I'm messing with at this point. I'm just kind of letting them go. Eagles do have a good defense. Minnesota's not terrible, but for me,
I just don't trust the Vikings this year.
Yeah.
I got nothing for them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that they're.
I mean, I will say this. It was nice to see Cousins out there slinging it. 344 yards is nothing to
It
sneeze
was a
at.
noon Sunday game, so yeah.
But yeah, that's, he only put up 25 yards. It like they just fizzled out like crazy. It was bonkers how that game kind of ended. But yeah, out of these players, everybody's going to start Justin Jefferson, right? There's no question. I think Madison definitely falls on the flex position. Addison, though,
I would play Addison over Madison.
I didn't have a problem with Addison at all. And obviously, you said Hawkinson you're going to play that guy. You're going to start him, no problem. But I mean, out of these two teams, and it's Thursday night, I'm not calling it now. This might be a clunker of a game.
I think you're going to have a decently high scoring affair.
You know how Thursday nights go, man.
Yeah, but I think they've done it. I think they've done a better job so far. I mean, we're 2 weeks in. Yeah. I think they've done a pretty good job of scheduling the game so far.
I'm looking forward to it either way.
Yeah. But it should be a great game. You definitely got some guys there that you can definitely play. A lot of points are going to be scored.
I hope so.
A lot of points.
I like high-scoring Thursday night games because it breaks the wheels off.
Yep. But, hey, guys, thank you so much for listening. Hey, drop a follow, subscription. We appreciate it. What do you guys think? Are we completely off with this stuff? Leave us a comment. As always, I'm Alan.
Rapid Dave.
We'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.
You better answer that.
Thank you for listening to the SP Fantasy Football Podcast.